Hey everybody, this is Brian for Breaking Down Security. It is the Hacker Summer Camp episode. So this is the episode you're probably going to be hearing on your way to B-Sides Las Vegas, Black Hat and DEF CON, or coming home from those, probably hungover and lost a lot of money. But we're back at full strength. Miss Berlin, Mr. Betcher is with me.
Yay.
Hello.
All right. So for those of you who heard last week's, wait a minute, let me get this right. Last week's show on the Mojave phone booth, that's what it is. Ms. Berlin was on there interviewing Godfrey with me, so that was fairly awesome. What did you think of that interview?
I thought it was pretty cool.
I am a fan of history. I enjoy some weird history.
It was different from what we, always do. It was nice. It was a nice interview, I think.
Yeah, I like hearing about weird things in history like that. And, the fact that it was, viral and, had become a meme even back before things like memes and viralness was a thing. It was very, very interesting story. And, I'm still reading on his book. It's probably read more since this episode's come out. But, very interesting person to talk to. So, if you ever get a chance to find his book and read it, definitely take a look at that. So, Mr. Betcher wasn't there, of course. He was too busy setting the jet and, hanging out with all the cool hotness peoples and stuff.
Me and the cool kids.
Yeah, you're at the cool people table, and I'm over here with the kids in the corner, so... Yeah. So, how did you guys like Black Hat, DEF CON, and B-Sides? Or you haven't gone yet? I don't know.
It was great.
Better than ever.
Oh yeah.
It killed.
Oh no. No. By the time this is released, I'll be on my way.
Oh yeah.
I'm driving.
Oh wow. That's right. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm driving with two other people, so it should be super fun because that's 30 hours of driving.
Good God. Actually, we'll probably release this on the 8th of August, which will be right smack dab in the middle of the conference. So
it will be in the middle, yeah.
Hope everybody's enjoying themselves at the Hacker Summer Camp. If you get a chance, go by Lockpick Village. Miss Wendy Knox Everett is there, and she's running that and giving out 5 talks during the whole week. So,
Lockpick Village at B-Sides?
No, I think it's one at DEF CON. I know she's running something over there, and I think it's the Lockpick Village. Shut up, Betcher.
Tool runs Lockpick Village.
Google that.
All right. Yeah, you go ahead and Google that. All I know is that she needed somebody to watch whatever it is she's working on.
I think she might be doing it at B-Sides.
Okay, well that's cool. I would go, but I'm already taking too much vacation time, so I can't go this year. So it's definitely on my list of things to do. So I'll probably go to DEF CON and B-Sides next year. So we'll see about getting that. So speaking of that, if you're listening to this and you're actually at Hacker Summer Camp, turn this shit off and go watch something.
Come find me. I'm going to be in a tricked out scooter.
Oh, right. That's right. Are you going to put some blingy lights on it or something? Ground effects?
I ordered so much off Amazon the other day because my friend Aaron handles Lintile, is also getting a scooter. Oh. So we ordered a lot of stuff. He has a siren horn thing, and we have flags and truck nuts and...
when I was like 8, I had a whole bunch
of stuff.
Bike flag, and I thought that was the coolest thing.
We have bike flags, and I bought separate flags to go on them other than the little orange ones.
So nice. We're not talking like a Razor scooter. You get like an electric rascal scooters or something, like one of those ones?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got the nicest scooter that you could get in Vegas.
Wow.
And it was super cheap.
Which is
for 5 days, it was $130.
And you can putter around the casinos with those.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, okay, but what happens when you run out of battery power?
Have a lot of demand for those.
Right.
That's true.
You can charge it overnight. It says it's supposed to last something like 15 hours, something crazy.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. But, I mean, they're assuming normal use. I mean, you zooming back and forth between Caesars and what?
I'll nap.
Oh, What? Just don't nap on the scooter. You'll just,
No. I'll go and I'll charge the scooter and I'll nap. Like my knee's super messed up, so
right.
I'll need to ice it and stuff throughout the day. So
okay.
I'll be okay.
All right.
You'll need that horn because it's so crowded, right? You don't want to sit there.
I'm a goon. I can just yell at people.
Oh, there you go. That's right. They're still letting you be a goon even though you've got a busted wheel?
Yes.
Okay, that's nice.
And I have to figure out some way because my leg's in a locked out like full brace.
Oh yeah.
Right. So like I have like a peg leg kind of.
Yar.
And actually the flag that I got for the scooter is pirate themed. But I have to figure out a way to sling my leg up because it has to remain straight. So I also ordered like a whole lot of zip ties.
I'm just imagining you jousting with this leg. You need to put like a point on it or something, it
hurts still super bad. So.
I could just see you full speed, ramming speed.
No, that would hurt.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Mr. Betcher, are you doing anything special at Hacker Summer Camp this year?
Special? I don't know.
Are you just another citizen of the InfoSec community, not doing any talking or anything?
Of course.
Right on. Okay. Yeah. So Miss Berlin will have swag and stickers, hopefully.
I'll have swag, and I'm doing a keynote at Diana Initiative on Friday. And then after that, I am a judge for, whose slide is it anyway?
Nice. Very cool. And hopefully you two will meet up at some point and you can trade him some stickers because he's wanting some stickers as well. So
yeah, I'll bring you some.
Sweet.
Coolness.
Cool. All right. So one thing. So on our Slack channel, which we'll talk about later, some people had expressed reservations because of the new browser issues. Starting with Chrome version 68, all HTTP sites are being labeled as insecure. So ironically enough, Libsyn's default podcast page is HTTP. Huh. So, yeah. So I ended up having to go and get a TLS cert for my my domain, breakingsecurity.com, and we got it TLS enabled. So if you go to https www.breakingsecurity.com, it'll be TLS 1.2 enabled, SHA-2. All the good, happy feelings. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, no joke, because people were like, oh my God, I go there so much. And I'm like, do you really? Do you?
Does it really need to be HTTPS?
You know what? I got into such an argument with somebody the other day on that stuff. They're like, oh, everything needs to be HTTPS. I'm like,
it doesn't.
They're not logging in. Okay, so.
There's no sensitive information on that site.
No, there isn't.
Static page.
There isn't. A lot of the argument came down to man in the middling, or if there was some vulnerabilities on the web page that you might be able to refer people to someplace else inside the stream or inject things in like the ISPs are doing. You could inject iframes and stuff right into your HTTP streams, which we've had Lee Brotherston on. He's shown that it's possible. So, so I wanted to be a good InfoSec community hobbit and make sure that everybody's safer on the internet when they're coming to visit our page. So
you're so good.
I didn't get a lot of feeling from that. It's like you read it off your hand. Yes, you're a really good person.
Wow, the Diana Initiative is right in the middle of the chill out room.
Really?
I wondered where it was at.
Yeah.
You guys act like you know where that is. Is it?
I'm looking at a map.
Oh, okay. Maybe you should put that map in the show notes in case people get lost.
I'm trying.
Okay.
There.
So, Miss Amanda.
There's also an app though. You can go to. I think Hacker Tracker. The app has a map as well.
So people actually use their cell phones during Black Hat, DEF CON, and B-Sides?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be damned. Wow, that's pretty swanky.
It's a nice app.
It is. Very cool. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Totally. There's a full map on the Hacker Tracker app.
Oh, that is swanky. Caesar's Palace Conference Center. Right on. So in addition to giving your talk at Hacker Summer Camp, you're also going to be at Derbycon. Are you going to be up and walking around by Derbycon? Or are you going to be in your...
I better be up and walking around by then.
Yeah. Okay. But your talk was accepted at Derbycon. Congratulations.
It was. My talk was accepted, and so was my workshop.
Fantastic.
So I will be giving the mental health talk, and then the workshop I'm doing is also mental health related. It's kind of like a chill out room, but also with structured and unstructured time and activities.
Okay.
So it's going to be like, you can come Thursday at 2 to talk about substance abuse, or you can come Friday to hear this person talk about their whatever research.
Right.
All based around mental health. And then I'm gonna hopefully try and have enough money raised to do donations to good causes, as well as like swag, and like I was hoping to do some other things like chair massages and
very
relaxing
cool.
things.
Okay. Well, if it was in the state of Washington, you probably had a couple dime bags for people to chill out with too. So,
I'm not sure I can do that.
No, not in Kentucky, but I mean here in Washington, we could grab some dime bags and some gummies and stuff.
I mean, they can bring their own. I am not taking any responsibility for that.
So let me ask you a question. Your mental health room. Maybe some people are not comfortable with coming and talking about that. Are you doing some kind of semi-anonymous thing where if they wanted to go behind a sheet or,
No, not really. It's not just about talking either. We're going to have a whole lot of information. Okay. So like pamphlets, different like tactics you can use for yourself, or if you know other people that are struggling around you. Right. Like papers on things that you can say, things that help. Right. And because like none of us that are going to be in there are professionals as far as like, therapy or anything else goes. So it's no like specific recommendations or anything. Sure. We would be there to listen if they want to talk. Yeah. Or to, give them information that I've been collecting for a couple of years.
Are you taking volunteers to help out with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. So volunteers to help with it, and volunteers if you want to give like a mini talk, or you have a topic that you would like to see covered. Mm-hmm. I already have a list of them going on, and I'll have probably won't have a website up soon, but I'll have like a landing page somewhere that people can go to see what all is going to be scheduled around in there.
Google Doc. We set you up a Google Doc. Google Docs for volunteers, maybe, perhaps. We'll post a link in the show notes to a Google Doc volunteer list for Derbycon. Cool. Yeah. Right on. All right. Well, I want to get to actual content. I mean, this was excellent content. I'm sorry, I didn't mean like that, but InfoSec content, talking about, the InfoSecs. So I apologize. It's very, very useful, and I'm definitely going to, we're definitely going to sponsor your workshop and any swag you want. So BreakSec's going to be forefront of this. We're gonna help out as much as we can. So, because we care. So, all right. So, Mr. Betcher, you turned me. I actually saw this because it's on my RSS feed, but you mentioned Mr. Hexacorn again as part of the blog. He does a really great blog post, hexacorn.com. And he has a series called Beyond the Good Old Run Key, and he's up to part 82 right now. You can actually go back in his posts, and he's been doing it since, you said 2011, right?
Yeah, if you look at the view older posts, you can scroll, and down to October 2011. So he's been doing it for a while.
Wowzers. So he talks a lot about Windows registry stuff, and the one you turned me on to was part 82, where it's talking about this. So maybe you can talk a little bit about, walk through some of these HKCR entries and stuff that he's got here.
Yeah, so all these shell extensions here, they basically do some sort of functionality you can program in the registry, things that will execute when different events happen. Right. For example, you right-click something or you execute a certain file extension. Those are all programmed in the registry. So what happens when you double click a .pdf. Well, I don't know, look in the registry, right? It will tell you what opens. Okay. So it might be Adobe, it might be Foxit Reader or whatever your PDF reader is. It could even be, what's the new browser? Edge. It could be Edge. Whatever's programmed in the registry is going to open that. Now, some things you can do in the registry, really cool tricks, is to run a script. Where's that script located? In the registry. So you can run a script in the registry which tells it to open Adobe Acrobat or whatnot. You can also write a script in the registry to open an executable and then open a PDF reader. Okay. So there's a world of things that you can do in the registry with these shell extensions.
That's what I was wondering, because I was like, when I double click a file in Windows, it just opens the PDF, or it just opens that file using Word or PDF. And then you went on to explain that you can actually open up the PDF reader or something and the PDF reader. So
you can run a script, or you can hard code the binary that needs to open it. Right.
So how would you get that on somebody's system? I mean, the blog post here says July 29, 2018 in anti-auto start persistence. So this could be used as a way to gain persistence, right? I mean, not everybody's going to be looking for something like this. You said before we started recording, there's like 10,000 of these auto run things, right?
Yes. So in the course of programming LogMD auto runs features, we do have an auto runs in LogMD. The cool thing about it is you can whitelist all the things that are normal. Right. So you run a baseline in your auto run, and then you can say, okay, I know all this is normal, so I'm going to put this all in my whitelist. And then you run auto runs again on the same computer, and you'll have no auto runs, right? Nothing has changed. So if somebody adds an auto run, let's say Bob installs Adobe Acrobat. Well, Adobe Acrobat runs some things constantly in the background. Okay, it may be a new service, it may be a run key in the registry. That thing's new, it's not in the whitelist yet, so all of a sudden you run auto runs again, and here pops up Adobe Acrobat, right? So you know somebody installed that. If malware gets on the machine, it needs a way to start. Okay, typically those are auto runs, a scheduled task, something of that nature. It could be that when you double click Microsoft Word doc, that the malware executes. Okay. Those are all auto runs. And if you take a baseline of your auto runs and then run it again, after the malware is installed on the system, you will see that persistence pop up as a line item in auto runs.
Okay.
So what we did was we examined all of these shell extension, and there's thousands of possibilities here. So we had to basically programmatically insert each one into LogMD in order to get it to find every auto run.
Right.
So the possibilities are endless, but it's whatever's in there by default. In Windows 10, there's about 10,000 auto runs.
No.
Right. So we had to make sure that all of those were captured. And then we decided, you know what, these shell extensions are pretty noisy and confusing. So we decided to possibly put that as a more advanced feature, kind of separate it from the regular auto runs. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. For example, when you right click and hit run as.
Right.
Or in the case of beyond good old run keys number 82, it says launch Chrome, and then he actually launches Calc.
Right. So okay. Yeah. So are all the shell extensions, when you right click on Windows and you see view, sort by, group by, refresh, those all have a registry entry that you can modify?
I believe all of those have registry entries you can modify.
So, okay. So
there are different ways to modify them based on, there may be things that aren't even in the registry that you could add, like subcommands,
right,
or scripts.
Right.
Let's see. I forget what the script one is, but if you add a key and then add a value for that key, you can run a script whenever, say, a file extension is kicked off.
Right. So yeah, this kind of interesting because so things that when you right click don't normally do anything. Maybe undo, move, or like the refresh command. All you do is you see the icons flicker. So you could hit refresh numerous times, and ideally, assuming that I am correct in this, you could have refresh do something completely different in the background that doesn't even spawn a window or do PowerShell or something, and the user wouldn't even know.
Right.
Unless it asks for like a UAC, I would imagine, right?
UAC, user account creation?
No,
like access control thing.
Access controls, user access control. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that all of those right-click type menu items are in the registry. Now, I haven't tried refresh, right? But what I have done is where you can create your own extension in there, say .mlwr, and whenever somebody double clicks a .mlwr file, even though it may be empty, it will actually execute something else.
Goodness.
Yeah. So you can create your own extensions that aren't part of Windows regularly, or you could hijack one that exists, which is even better. Somebody who maybe does some sort of a risk analysis, they might use Excel all day, so you'd hijack the Excel extension.
Yeah. All right. So question, and I'm sure Ms. Berlin's got some too, but what would it take to get a registry entry like this onto the system where you would, look like it's launching Chrome, but instead pop the calc up or, hit refresh? What would it take to get on there? Like minimum, like click a link in an email, download something that gets added with regedit. I mean, what are we looking at here?
Somebody would need access to the system as a user. They could edit the registry.
You have to be a super user at least, right?
I think as a user you can edit HK users.
Okay.
HKU.
Right.
Then if you have administrator privileges, you can edit all of it.
Oh, wow.
So, and you can do it remotely if you have that. You can do it through WMI, PowerShell.
Right. Okay, I can see that. All right. Wow. All right. That's crazy. So, I mean, there's at least 80 other episodes of this blog post series on his hexacorn.com. I thought it was hexacom, but it's not. It's a whole corn, like a unicorn, but a hexacorn. So, crazy. That's, how do you protect against this stuff then? I mean, obviously, you said you tried implementing something for protection-wise or for detection-wise in LogMD, and that was too much of a pain because there's just so many different things in HKCR. How would you protect against something like this?
Well, it's not a pain for us because we have a whitelist, so we can run auto runs every day and see what changes.
Okay.
Right? Hey, Bob, you installed this unapproved software. Right. We can find that in a number of ways, but auto runs is one way we can do it.
Right? So conceivably you could bundle something like this with a piece of software that would pop the UAC, and then the guy would think automatically, well, I'm installing software there, it's wanting me to, make changes, so it's going to click yes.
There's software that legitimately does that.
Yeah.
I've seen software add stuff to the right click menu before, just on purpose.
Shell extensions.
Not maliciously.
7-zip does. 7-zip, WinZip, all of the zip files do. All the zip utilities. So yeah.
So you could schedule a task to run every day. Or even you can create your own auto run to schedule that task to run auto runs and find if there's anything different. I remember somebody doing this in PowerShell. It was about a year ago. I read this article where he would get a pop-up if something changed in auto runs.
Nice.
Yep. So when he booted up his computer, if something was different, he would get notified. and then he could go modify that or just investigate.
Yeah.
Right. What happened? Oh, great. Another, what do you call it? OneNote changed or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Another OneNote.
Yep.
Again. Okay. I guess Windows updated. So, yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. This guy's
scheduled task every day to find this. That's one way to detect persistence.
Well, that would be something
like the endpoint solution stuff has to detect that too, right?
Yes.
I imagine.
Yeah. So when he got that pop-up, was that on his admin console or was it on the user console? Because I would imagine user would be like, I don't know what this is. Clear it. You'd have very few people that actually call IT or security and go, hey, what is this?
Yeah, it'd be admin.
Or put it in your SIM or something like that.
Yeah, you could. So what you could do is schedule a task to run. It creates a file, right? And if there's anything changing in the file or if there's any entries in the file, that pops up in your SIM. Right. So you send that to a Humio type solution. And if there's anything different in there, you get an alert.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or if any entries at all.
Yeah.
So a tool like Winlog Beats will detect changes in a particular folder. So if a new file is created, in the case of LogMD, it doesn't even create a file if there's no entries. So if a new file is created, that is parsed out, sent up to Humio, and then you get an alert right there on the fly.
Mm. So Humio is a sponsor of the BDIR show, not necessarily BDS, but apparently they've gotten the seal approval from Goff and Mr. Betcher, so apparently they don't suck. So look, that's my whole thing with sponsors. I can't do sponsors where it'd be like, I don't know if they suck or not, and I am not the person people should be asking for vendor information. So, if I ever did sponsors, it would have to be something like a Bug Crowd or something where I'm like, generally they don't. They're doing what is necessary to protect people regardless. Or like, if Nmap had a funding scheme, it's one of those things that's pretty universally accepted. So, all right, let's see. What else do we have here? Ms. Berlin, you're up. Network forensics with Windows DNS. Where did you find out about this?
InfoSec Taylor Swift tweeted it out.
Of course. She's everywhere, omnipotent, godlike.
Yeah. There was actually a something that she tweeted out. It's from 2015.
Right.
Actually, it's an article that brings to light like an internal DNS tool that they have to create. It seems more verbose logging than currently is available.
I'm sorry. How verbose logging do you need to have? Are we getting something missing or hidden in DNS logs that we should be recording? Is there something we're missing?
So in this article, it lists like the different lookups and the different types of lookups, if the queries and responses were received or if they were successful or not. As far as I know, that's not current. I mean, I've not ever had anybody send me those logs.
Right.
I've used other DNS solutions that don't have those logs.
Okay.
And what the initial tweet was about is that there was just this tool that was mentioned that seems to be internal to Microsoft.
Okay. Well,
is it included now with like Windows Server, and it kind of points to doing it a third part, like you have to use like a third party tool or whatever.
Right.
And it just gives like an overview of the functionality of the tool. It separates them out into like analytical, audit, and operational logs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you can never get enough DNS info when you're looking. I mean, it's helpful in like detecting IOCs and what else does it list? Like covert channel detection, adversary tracking. I'm surprised at the amount of people that don't log DNS into like a SIM or whatever.
And the reason people helpful. Well, isn't that just more logs as they should be trying to parse? I mean, are there it's good to log your DNS information and if there's somebody doing some nefarious shite on your network. But are there parts of the DNS that shouldn't be logged? Because, log everything is great if you've got, a couple petabytes worth of information space. But.
Oh, yeah. A whole bunch of stuff shouldn't be logged.
Okay. Like what in DNS should not be logged? Is there anything in particular?
Like your device is going out to, I mean, it could be logged, but like your device is going out to Windows updates and just like doing a shit ton of queries to Microsoft.com.
Mm-hmm.
Or internal DNS logging. I don't know that I've really found a whole lot of use for. Like internal, I mean, maybe a little bit, but like that's a per company decision, because you have to weigh the whole, I'm sending this amount of logs and it's costing me this much money. Is it worth it?
Right.
So like the more, always the more logging is better, but you don't always have that much in your pocketbook.
Yeah.
But regular DNS queries out to the internet are better.
Right.
Especially for like threat hunting stuff.
Yes, we've talked about the threat hunting while you were gone. Mr. Betcher and I did a little bit. Apparently that's the new hotness term, so I expect to see that at RSA next year.
Oh, threat hunting?
Threat hunting.
That's been around, though.
Oh, really?
For a while.
Oh. I did not know that.
Well, it has, but not as big as it is now. It's been ever growing, right?
Did it used to be called something else?
I think Chris Sanders does a training on threat hunting, doesn't he?
Yes, Mr. Sanders. I'd call him Colonel Sanders, but we get sued. So, so you talked about not collecting the internal DNS records. Why would you not want to collect that stuff? Seems to me that if you've got something internal and the box is internal, not allowed to go outside, and then yet all of a sudden it's starting to make DNS calls to its DNS server looking for an external IP address, would that not be an indicator of compromise?
Yeah, but it's going to be looking externally for its own DNS server. It's not going to be looking throughout, like host to host DNS.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just thinking along the lines of, you have a box that's not supposed to reach the internet, and all of a sudden it's wanting to reach the internet by, hey, I want to go to, bobsbaitstore.ru. Mm-hmm. And if you're not logging those, you would be missing a potential pivot.
Those are all external queries, though.
Yeah, but if it's only internal, if it's internal only and not allowed to go outside of the internet, it shouldn't be making external queries, right?
It'll still try and make a query, whether it's allowed to or not.
Okay.
Different.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Because that .ru domain isn't the .local internally or the .com internally or whatever.
Yeah, and I guess if it's got Windows, it's going to be making requests regardless if it has the ability to go out or not. So that makes sense. I mean, it still may be useful if you're trying to check for an indicator of compromise, but yeah, I mean, that could get fairly noisy after a while if it keeps bouncing. So, because it's going to keep trying over and over and over. So,
or at least for that kind of stuff, you don't want to keep it as long as you would keep other logs. Like, I don't know that there's no compliance requirement that is forcing you to keep DNS logs, as far as I know.
Right.
Whereas there is like application logs and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. Mr. Betcher, what say you about the DNS logs, Mr. DFear guy there?
I just turned on DNS logging locally.
Yeah.
Because it was turned off, and I was like, okay, let me see what's up. I got about 16 entries in the first second.
Oh yeah.
That I turned it on. So I went in there and I was like, what is going on? So I found out that this one service this program that created a service, I was trying to configure it and I never could get it configured. Well, it just so happened that the service would start automatically on reboot, and I didn't recognize that, or I didn't realize it. So, hey, I was able to shut it off by looking at the log, and now I probably don't have as much network traffic.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because it was, 16 queries a second adds up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see like really cool DNS spikes when there's misconfigurations on a network too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that makes sense. You don't want to. I guess if you had enough stuff, being logged, you could cause a denial of service, maybe, depending on how poorly your network is.
Yeah, I mean,
how big are those packets normally? A couple hundred bytes? I guess it would take quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, even where's that article that we're just reading? It says even with a DNS server running on modern hardware that's receiving 100,000 queries per second can experience a performance degradation of 5% when analytic logs are enabled.
Well, that's not bad. I mean,
that's a little. I mean, 5% is. I mean, if it's just a DNS server.
We're assuming 5% of the CPU is being used, or 5% of network utilization. That's right.
It says performance degradation.
That is CPU.
Okay, so, all right, so you're losing 5%, which I guess if you're using it in a cloud-based environment, that might be a problem, because that's 5% that's not being used somewhere else to crunch information or data or web apps or something. So that could be a negligible...
Well, we're talking 100,000 per second.
Right.
Now, I did 16 per second, so how many of me would there need to be with a misconfiguration, right?
Right. Yeah, that's quite a few. So there's no apparent performance impact for 50,000 queries per second or lower. So it would have to take quite a few boxes for even a 5% drop, which is why they have, those amplification attacks are such a big deal, because it's, there's so much traffic being pushed, so many queries, so many, because I'm sure these things are just banging, several 100,000 times. So that makes sense. Okay. Thankfully, it's fairly efficient. So, I mean, the kernel has been tuned properly, and you don't have to worry about huge degradation in that case. So, details of logged data. So, analytic log type implemented through this feature contains much of the day-to-day operational detail of the DNS server. So, it shows you response success, the IP of the interface, the destination. Yeah, queue name, example.com.
I think the point is in that heading, analytical logging, it has a negligible performance impact. Windows logs are pretty efficient.
Yeah.
I mean, when people argue that, we can't turn on enhanced logging of any kind because we're on pins and needles as it is, it'll get unstable and stuff like that. I mean, we're talking... You have zero impact on the server itself, and you're doing 50,000 queries per second.
Right.
And at the bottom of this article, it says that the total size of raw data storage post-filtering for all 29 Microsoft corporate DNS servers peaks at approximately 100 gigabytes a day at the busiest times, and drops down to about 15 gig a day during less busy periods such as weekends.
And this was almost 3 years ago, so we can assume maybe another 20% increase, maybe. Yeah. So probably 120 gigs per day, not including all the Azure stuff. So maybe 150 gigs per day, and then maybe another 25 gigs during less busy periods. So,
still a lot of data.
That is a lot of data. It depends on, if they're keeping it or not, or if they're just able to, stream through and go, okay, this is good, this is crap, this is good, this is crap. If they can do that, then, active filtering would be, be helpful. So, I don't see the mention of the tool that InfoSec Swift, Miss Swift was talking about. The Windows Event Collection is definitely something you can use. And what was the other thing that they were talking about? We worked with Microsoft IT to pilot the analytic logging and the ETW consumer filtering tool. Is that what you're talking about there? The ETW consumer filtering tool?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this was 3 years ago, so it looks like it might just be a fancy reporting thing that takes the stuff, puts it in a CSV type format or something. So
it says this ETL file can be analyzed for top volume query domains, and you can take out, filter by those. It says alternatively, such data as Alexa Top 100 can be taken as a starting point and refined
right,
to fit the needs of the enterprise.
According to ETL file in Google, it says it's a log file created by Microsoft Tracelog, a program that creates logs using the events from the kernel in Microsoft OS. Contains trace messages that have been generated during trace sessions, such as oh my God, there he goes. Disk accesses or page faults. Don't look at me like that.
Did I miss something?
Yeah, never mind.
It's a family show, Bray.
It's family. I know.
Oh, yeah, I caught that. I was trying to be good.
Thank you, Betcher. So, so the Microsoft Tracelog program, I think, is what they were using to create those. So, Tracelog, Microsoft Docs. Tracelog exe is an event tracing controller that runs in command prompt window. There it is. Maybe this is the application Miss Swift was looking for.
It would be pretty nice.
Yeah. There you go. Put it in the show notes. So, all right. Well, I know all of you are, probably on your fifth Jack and Coke there, sitting in the Caesars Lounge or trying to find that swimming pool on top of the roof. So I'm going to let you both go.
Wait. Before we go, I have a really funny story to tell that is not InfoSec related
That's
at all.
right. I forgot about your son. Yeah.
Right? So, as many of you know, I have kids, right? So my oldest son is 16, works on a golf course. He does grounds maintenance and stuff.
Right.
Today I picked him up. I went and took him. He got his physical for sports for school. Came back home. He went into his room and it's not uncommon. And then I didn't see him for a couple hours. Well, he usually helps me around the house now that I can't really do a whole lot. And I was trying to text him and yell for him and nothing. So I wait a couple hours and I do it again. Nothing. So I'm like, I'm going to have to go down and get him. So I go and I yell down the stairs because he lives his bedroom's in the basement. So he finally, he comes up, he apologizes. He says, Mom, I fell asleep. I'm so sorry. And starts helping me out. And then he looks out the window and he's like, well, I probably didn't miss a whole lot of work just because it looks like it's going to rain. What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, we don't do a whole lot of work when it's raining outside. I go, okay. But what did you do today? He's like, well, what are you talking about? What's today? He thought it was Tuesday, which today's Monday.
Right.
It was 9:00 at night. He thought he had missed work in the morning, slept through and missed work in the morning. And he had actually texted his boss and his friend and let them know he was going to be a little late.
Oh, wow. Wow. I don't think I've been that disoriented.
He had to have just gone into a coma he was sleeping for at least 4 hours.
Yeah. Wow.
And just woke up, thought he had, because he goes to work at 5:30 in the morning.
Right.
And it was dark, so he thought it was morning.
Okay.
And that he had missed work on a Tuesday.
Oh my goodness. Nope, sorry, son. Now you got to go back to sleep again and wake up and really go to work. So
if you thought you had a bad Monday.
Yeah. I almost missed all of Monday. God bless us, everyone. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Wow. I love when you tell stories about your kids. It's, Mom, damn it.
I was in tears.
So embarrassed.
Yeah.
The whole internet has heard you now, so.
That's all right. I'm going to be telling that for a while.
That's awesome. So, all right. So those of you who are at Hacker Summer Camp, go find Miss Berlin, Mr. Betcher. Gentlemen, ladies, how would they find you if they were on, running around using their phones like not good hackers?
So I'm at InfoSister on Twitter and on our Slack channel.
Okay.
INFOSYSTIR. And I probably won't check it while I'm there. I'll be online, so ping me or direct message me or something if you want to get my attention.
Okay, cool. Mr. Betcher?
Yeah, you can reach me on Twitter as well, at Betcherpwned, BOETTCHERPWNED.
Okay.
So, hit me up and maybe we can meet.
Cool. If you bring your roller skates and pay Miss Berlin $5, she will ferry you back and forth across Caesar's Palace.
Heck yeah, I will.
She's like the hacker Uber or something,
I really wanted to figure out how to get a sidecar on that thing, or a trailer, or...
Yeah, I know. That would be awesome.
I got the insurance on it, so as long as it doesn't end up at a pool, I'm good.
You're going to drive it like it's stolen, yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. So if you are at Black Hat, DEF CON, or B-Sides, we do have a Slack channel dedicated to you folks called Hacker Summer Camp on our Slack.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I added you. Hold on.
No, you didn't. I have no H's.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, I will invite you to join. There we go. At least 40 people are now in there, according to with Miss Berlin, who's been added. If you are there and you want to organize something and you want to meet other BreakSec folks, you can join our Slack and get to know some folks. We also have a channel for our Derbycon stuff as well. It's a little smaller venue, so it'll be a lot easier to find us. But all I heard on Twitter last year and years before was like, I don't know where anybody is. Where is everybody? I'm over here, and you can't find anybody.
It is near impossible to meet up with people in DEF CON.
Oh, really?
It is not easy at all. Oh. I tried doing like organizing lunches and stuff like that. It is not worth it. It is absolutely impossible.
People just get all, squirrel, and then they forget.
Yep. I mean, I'm guilty of it too.
There's just so much to see and do. Maybe this year, you being, less mobile will,
I'm very handy capable.
Okay.
Look for the flags.
And the BreakSec stickers.
So the flag that's behind me is my DEF CON Goon flag. Yeah. I kind of wanted to take that with me.
Yeah.
But it's kind of near and dear to my heart, so I don't want to take it off my wall.
Oh yeah, you don't want to lose it. That would suck. Yeah. So, but yeah, if you want to join the Slack, hit up the BreakSec podcast Twitter at BreakSec, BRAKESEC. You can also send us an email to bds.podcast@gmail.com. I appreciate all of our patrons. You are helping to get some of this swag, and I swear I'm really trying to figure out how to do the envelope thing and sending things in the mail. Some of the stuff I'm just paying out of pocket, like some of the t-shirts and stuff that we're getting. Some of the money also came from training that we do, which I'm trying to get with people like Miss Sunny to do another series of web application classes so that we can do that, and maybe Miss Berlin can do her blue team class again. I'm putting her on the spot. I blew up that
lab. So.
Oh, you blew up the lab? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Mr. Betcher and Mr. Goff could do like a logging cheat sheet class for us or something as well. That might be helpful. Maybe you can definitely get more people online than you can in Austin, Texas.
Sim class.
Sim class? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. Speaking of our sim class, our sim channel on our Slack has a meetup now, so people can get together and talk about all things sim. Miss Megan Roddy.
There you go. You got it.
I had to equate her to Roddy Piper, the professional wrestler. So, yeah. The guy who wore kilt and everything. So Roddy right. Piper. So now I've got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Pack, he's one of our other moderators. But yeah, they had about 15-20 people show up talking about all things sim. So if you are interested and you have a large sim assignment at your infrastructure at your office, come and join us. We're doing a lot of great stuff on our Slack channel, so feel free to hook up with that. So we're on iTunes. Please leave feedback if you'd like to, or if you'd like to leave us some tip jar. We do have our Patreon, and you can find all them links on our new TLS enabled website at breakingsecurity.com. So please use it, because it took me several hours and a few days of time and effort to get that stuff done. So, but I'd like to thank the folks over at Libsyn for their patience in helping me get that going, because it's a PaaS, so it's platform as a service, so it's kind of a pain in the ass. I don't have direct access to the box. I can't add directories to it, so it's not like I can just generate a CSR on the local box and then do like a typical TLS thing. So I had to do some fancy finagling to get that TLS cert on there, and then they told me, oh yeah, not a lot of people are using that, and I'm like, okay, so
you should make this easier.
Yeah, what are they doing to enable TLS on their sites? People are going to start wondering. So But yep. All right. Well, that's it. Everyone enjoy Hacker Summer Camp. We are going to be at Derbycon. You can see me at Derbycon. Everybody will be at Derbycon, but find Mr. Betcher. I'm done. It's been a long freaking day. All right. Find everybody at DEF CON and Black Hat and B-Sides. So have fun. Enjoy yourself. Stay out of the heat in Vegas. And this has been Breaking Down Security. Have a great week. Be nice to one another while you're out there, please. I don't want to see anybody in jail.
And put deodorant on.
Oh, please shower and put deodorant on. So that's tough love, but it is tough love. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.